What's good, everybody? I'm here to talk about Maractus, which has received, as always, some super cool, fun, and strong buffs and changes. But before I get into these, my reasoning and how they function, I want to have a quick little disclaimer to check out the description below. Especially if you're new here, you just happen to be clicking on this video, your first time ever seeing my channel, 100%, make sure you check out the description below. I update that Google Sheet live with all of the buffs and changes in this hack, and most importantly, you can see all of the vast move buffs and changes in the hack, because there are 600 plus custom new move changes as well as 130 plus custom brand new moves. So those are all really important to check out. As you can see here, it's organized into categories for your viewing pleasure. There's also a whole bunch of other useful Google Sheets at the bottom of this sheet where you can navigate through the tabs, and of course you can check out all of the other Pokemon buffs and changes as well. But with that being said, we got Maractus. Very underappreciated Pokemon. I'm sure a lot of you guys like Maractus. I think Maractus is pretty cute, pretty cool. If this would load, please, so I could... Come on, there we go. So, grass ground typing. Similar to Darmanitan, this is a desert dwelling Pokemon. So the only real dual type I could think of that would fit for Maractus is grass ground. Grass fairy is kind of stupid in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's kind of cute when it dances, but I don't really see it personally. Grass ground's a lot cooler. It also makes it the only other grass ground type aside from Torterra, who, while Torterra is a physical attacker, Maractus is special. Obviously, Torterra's bulk is a lot better overall because of his gigantic HP stat and defense stat, but Maractus is a lot faster. It's immune to water with Storm Drain. It has Solar Rush, and it has a completely different utility move pool with things like Strength Sap and all kinds of other really fun stuff, as well as great setup moves such as Quiver Dance, Blossom Dance, and Z-Rototiller. I'm going to get more in detail about what it can do in a second, but as for the stats, small special attack boost, nothing too crazy. Honestly, even if I kept it unchanged at 106, it's still a very good, solid special attack stat. 110 is very good, especially with the grass and ground dual stab, as well as the coverage that you get from your new moves, especially in the sun. You have Weather Ball, which is really powerful, of course. You have lots of great utility. It's great. It's like a great utility or offensive Pokemon. It really just depends on what spread you're running. So in this ROM hack, I've balanced every single Pokemon to have two viable abilities that you switch between using the ability capsule at will. You get that at the beginning of the game. You use that on all your Pokemon. You run Solar Rush for some fights, Storm Drain for others. You run bulky sets for one fight, another for another. It's really customizable, especially when you have a stat spread like this and a move pool like this. So offensively, you have Solar Rush, of course, which you can use with Solar Beam, Growth, Weather Ball, and then your dual stab. It's very straightforward, very simple. You can also run a bulkier Solar Rush set, because the good thing about Solar Rush in this hack, you don't have to worry about Choice Scarf speed tiers, because AI does not know how to utilize Choice Scarf properly. So if you go to 65 base speed and you put in a neutral nature at +2, aka with Solar Rush, you hit 458. That's with max investment. With zero investment, you hit 332, which is actually a pretty respectable speed stat. So you would only need to invest minimal into your speed to outspeed most things. Say, hypothetically, the fastest Pokemon on the opponent's team has base 110 speed, right? 110 is 350, so you're gonna have to hit 352 or whatever. You only need 40, or excuse me, sorry. Yeah, you only need 40. You only need 40 speed EVs to outspeed base 110 speed Pokemon with a neutral nature. So you can kind of scale that up. And, the good thing about the ROM hack is not only do you have access to those infinite ability capsules, you also have infinite EV training. So you can easily switch around your EVs with items. You decrease them and increase them with items, and then you can even use wings to get +4 increments for specific EV spreads. Like in this case, you would use it to speed creep things, and you would put the rest in your bulk. Or you could run a max attack and special attack if you wanted a fully mixed set in the sun. That'd be pretty fun too, because he does have actually arguably better physical move pool, because you get a lot of really powerful coverage, like Thunder Punch, First Impression, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, Gunk Shot, Health Thrust, Zen Headbutt, Focus Punch, Drain Punch, Brick Break, Takedown, Play Rough, Rock Climb, Rock Slide, all this stuff, Seismic Fist. You got all this really cool stuff on the physical side as well. Your special coverage is a bit more limited. You only have, obviously Grass Ground is very good dual stab, so you don't really need much coverage, but you only have Sludge Bomb, Venoshock, that's pretty much it, and then you have Weather Ball in the sun, and Focus Blast later in the game. But honestly, it's really all you need. Not to mention, Natural Gift also becomes any type in the game as a single type use item. So for example, you slap on a Yachi Berry or something, and now you have 110 base power, Ice type, special, Natural Gift. Obviously, it is very situational, even though it is very powerful, but you can use that to sweep certain trainer fights if you need a specific coverage move to blow past a certain Pokemon on their team. So that's really cool. Another thing that I use to encourage physical sets on this Pokemon, despite the fact that its physical attack set is a good bit lower than its special attack, is that not only does it have those move options in its move pool, it also has Swords Dance, which I don't even know why it didn't get that before. It's like a Dancer Pokemon, which is also why it has Revelation Dance, which, by the way, is ground type. It's the same power as Earth power. However, Revelation Dance has a 50% chance to give you +1 special attack, so it's essentially Fiery Dance in vanilla, but it's stronger and it's ground type in this case. I know it says grass ground, but in the game files it is listed as a ground grass type, purely just so you can have that ground type Revelation Dance over the grass type Revelation Dance to make it stand apart from Pokemon like Blossom, who also have Revelation Dance and are grass type. So yeah, same with Lilligant. I'm pretty sure if you watch that video, they have fairy type Revelation Dance, that kind of deal. Roserade is poison type Revelation Dance, and so on. But yeah, that's a really good move. Strength Sap, beautiful move on them. Absolute staple in my opinion, at least for my personal tastes. I would not be running sweeping sets too often. Not that they're bad, they are very, very good, but there's a lot of anti-setup stuff in the hack that will kind of either punish or just make it difficult to get set up off in general. Not that it's bad, you know, if you're smart and you know how the AI works and you have the right setup going and you switch out your Pokemon a bunch to debuff the lead and taunt them and do all this crazy stuff, then I'm sure you can get a sweep going. You set up the rocks to break any focus sash or sturdy. You got to be really smart about it, but my point is that setup is not exactly the most viable thing. It's still good, it's still very good, but it takes a little bit more thought than it used to. At least it should, if my countermeasures work properly, which I think they will. And even then, even if it is easier to set up, you don't have to use it. I mean, I would prefer strength set, bulkier sets personally. Speaking of, I didn't cover the stats yet. Yeah, so special attack is a little bit buffed. HP is still the same because they are not really that big. On a 75 is pretty fair. Same with the 86 base attack. I could have gone higher, but 535 base total is about the max for for this hacks standards for a Pokemon like this. 550 is a little bit weird. There are one-stage 550 base total Pokemon, but I don't think Maractus fits as one of them. So 535, very, very fair. 65 base speed, like I said, is very good with the speed boosting options. You could even just run Scarf if you want to. You also have special priority in the form of Leaf Flurry, which is nice, but most of them, Sucker Punch and First Impression are stronger than Leaf Flurry, of course. Not that Leaf Flurry is bad. But yeah, other stat-wise, you get a big boost to your bulk, was my point, because Maractus is a cactus Pokemon, and they do look pretty tanky, especially on the physical side. They should definitely be able to take some good physical hits. So 107 defense, 92 speed F, very tanky mon. By this hack standards, nothing too tanky, but it's good enough with the move pool and the typing. Although you do have that, 2 to 4 times weakness. Oh my god, it's unusable because it's 4 times weakness. That's me being sarcastic if you can't tell. It's really not a big deal. You just don't use it on ice types, and you can also kill ice types anyways with your coverage moves if you had to. But otherwise, we have some nice resistances to ground and rock, and then only 3 other weaknesses. And you have that, of course, you have that electric immunity, so that's really nice. Yeah. Otherwise, you have other great utility like Parting Shot is huge. Most Pokemon get that in this hack, but it's still really nice nonetheless. Synthesis will heal you by 2/3 HP under the sun. So if you deleted Strength Set for whatever reason, you can always teach Synthesis. That's very reteachable, and that's really nice to have in the sun especially, but also in general. Storm Drain is great, especially now that you're neutral to water. Because if you're ground typing, you're neutral to water. So having that immunity is great, and you will get a +1 special attack boost, so you can switch in and get that +1 special attack boost if you bait the AI into using the water move on you. And in general, you're just a very nice counter to water types or water type move users. You get that boost, and then you can go to town with that. An Assault Vest set would be pretty great with like Giga Drain and Storm Drain. That'd be pretty cool. There's so many cool things you can do. Spiky Shield, Leech Seed is awesome. Finishing Blow is very nice on Solar Rush sets because it, like I said, it encourages you to your physical attack stat. So, for example, you do have Growth, right, which gives you +2 in both. Rototiller also gives you +2 in both. By the way, Rototiller gives you +2 attack and special attack no matter what. It only works if you're a Grass type Pokemon. So Maractus and Torterra, and there actually might be another Grass Ground type down the line that I won't spoil yet. But Z Rototiller is awesome because it gives you +1 speed, +1 special defense, +1 defense, +1 special attack, and +1 attack on top of the +2 attack and special attack. So you would have +3 attack, special attack, +1 speed, all that stuff. With the if you're going to run a speedier Z Rototiller set, you're going to need speed investment because without speed investment, 65 at +1 is not fast enough. With investment, it's going to outspeed most things, though. If I recall my speed tiers correctly, let me check. Max investment at +1, you're outspeeding 343. Okay, that's not amazing, but it's not bad. If you got a plus speed nature, you're outspeeding a lot of things. If you're getting a neutral speed nature, then you still outspeed like 100s base speed Pokemon with max speed, Jolly Nature, that kind of thing. Otherwise, you have Blossom Dance. Quiver Dance is earlier. Quiver Dance is objectively inferior to Blossom Dance, however. Quiver Dance gives you +1 special attack and +1 speed now. No more special defense, just for balancing reasons because way more Pokemon have it now. But Lunar Dance does what Quiver Dance used to do, but Maractus doesn't get that, obviously. Blossom Dance is awesome, though. Blossom Dance gives them +2 speed and then +1 to both their offensive stats, so that's awesome. That is why it's level 65. It's one of their last setup moves. Z Rototoa is actually late purely because Hapu gives the Groundinium Z, so it would be useless otherwise. You know, giving it a level 60 or 50 would be useless. Not entirely useless because you get the +2 special attack, I guess, but like just run Ingrain if you want special attack or Growth in the Sun. Ingrain gives you -5 speed, +1 special attack, +1 special defense, so it's essentially Calm Mind that lowers your speed, and it locks you while on the field, and it gives you that residual healing like Ingrain, you know, always does. So kind of a dangerous move. You have to be really smart about clicking it, but if you use it at the right time, it can be incredible with that residual healing and Spiky Shield and Leech Seed and Strength Sap and all this other crazy stuff. So yeah, you've got a couple other fun things you can do. Magical Leap gives you Spit Def, which is pretty fun. T-Spikes has nice utility as well. Overall, Cotton Guard is huge. I don't know why I didn't talk about that yet. Cotton Guard is awesome. Grass Whistle is nice because Sleep is reworked to always last for 2 turns, so you can get off a guaranteed setup on that second turn after the first use. And if they're actually faster than you, for example, if you run Focus Sash plus Grass Whistle, which is 80% accurate, and you land it, then you can get off 2 setup turns. So you can get off 2 Blossom Dances, 2 Quiver Dances. Keep in mind, setup move PvP is nerfed. Swords Dance only has 1. Rototiller only has 1, I believe. Quiver Dance is 2. Blossom Dance is 2. You know, Ingrain has 3, I believe. So that kind of stuff is all nerfed just to make setup a little bit less free. Floral Guard's nice. That gives you +1 defenses. It's Cosmic Power, essentially, so that's pretty great as well. Woodhammer is very early on. Level 42 is super early for Woodhammer, again, to encourage the lower physical attack stat. Leaf Storm, Land's Wrath are both 150 base power moves that drop your special attack stat by 2. You have other powerful stab moves like Petal Dance, Chloroblast, and Seed Flare later on. Land's Wrath is by far your strongest special ground move and ground move in general. All your other ground type moves are 90 base power or lower. Not that that's bad, that's totally great. But you know, if you want something extra powerful, then you have Land's Wrath there. Otherwise, that's really honestly about it. I could talk about a few more things, but I think I covered just about everything. It's a great Pokemon. The abilities are great. Swapping between those is really useful. Heat Rock is buffed, so if you set up the Sun with your ally, even just manual Sunny Day, Heat Rock gives 6 turns as opposed to 3, so you can Sunny Day and then you turn Parting Shot or Volt Switch into your Maractus, or just Hard Swap, and then you can get off 9 full turns of setup in that regard. So that's awesome. And of course, if you have a drop Pokemon, you get 10 full turns. If you Parting Shot turn 1, Heat Rock Parting Shot into your Maractus, and you get 10 full turns of Sun. That's plenty. Yeah, that's really about it. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed these buffs and changes. If you did, definitely make sure you subscribe. Most likely by the time you're listening to this, I've hit 1K already, so I really do appreciate it. And if I haven't, and you're listening to this video and you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe, please. And in general, you should be subscribed. And yeah, I appreciate the support, everybody. And I'll be back for more cool Unova Pokemon coming up. See ya.